Electric cars, cheaper to run, no pollution. They're the transport of the future, and China has cottoned onto that big time. They're in pole position in the international electric car race. Electric cars, high-speed trains, transport of the future, which China is investing very heavily to become a clear world leader. Transport of the future, featuring in this episode of Futuristic China. Hello, welcome. I'm Greg Granger.
With such a vast territory and such a massive population, China is developing a transport system of epic proportions. Already 119 major highways have been built or are under construction. This year alone, 5,000 kilometres of new expressways will be built. And the number of drivers in China now far exceeds the entire population of the United States. On the roads, there are 150 million cars, with more than 17 million new models every year, while China makes 1 out of every 4 cars produced worldwide. Almost 1 million of those are electric.
China's throwing big resources and money at EVs. It has to. It still has a relatively small number of cars per capita, much less than half the US per capita of cars. You can't imagine China if they're all internal combustion engines, if that many people are going to be using cars. So electric vehicles is an absolute high priority, and that's where we're going to see, I think, some really big shifts in technology and the way people travel.
While they're still being tested in China, driverless cars, buses and vans are already being built. High-speed trains are now the fastest in the world, proving the strength of Chinese train technology and science. By 2020, there'll be 30,000 kilometres of high-speed train networks.
It's incredible to think that 10 years ago there wasn't one fast train in China, and now there's track equivalent to almost the rest of the world combined. And it's hard to imagine China today without that fast train.
And in the sky, China is building its own airliner, the C919, with strong government backing.
They've already launched a medium-sized passenger plane, and I think they would see themselves eventually competing with Boeing and Airbus. But there's still a long way to go, but they've started and they've had very successful tests of medium-sized passenger aircraft.
Finally, in space, China is making significant progress with the launch of its first space station, the launch of 18 rockets last year, and plans to put their own man on the moon.
And in space, well, China's had an active space program for many years now, and that also is a big priority. I think from a Chinese government position, they don't want to see China missing out in any main area. They look at themselves as a major country, a major power in the world, and they just operate on the basis that they should be in all of these areas.
Transport of the future, happening now in Futuristic China. China has a clear ambition to lead the world in electric cars. In the past 5 years, they've spent billions of renminbi subsidising the electric car industry, with both consumers and car makers receiving generous subsidies, tax exemptions and incentives.
The Chinese government have invested very heavily in this all-electric technology, charging stations now right across China, and buyers of these all-electric vehicles with those green-friendly environmental plates can have those vehicles registered immediately, compared to buyers of petrol vehicles, the conventional vehicles, that have to wait a long time, a lottery process, and charge a lot more.
By 2020, there'll be 5 million electric cars on the road, with electric car production up by 50% last year. Electric power is not the only difference in some models.
Electric cars, not just electric, but can operate by remote control. Helps you in tight parking situations. Off we go. Ease of parking with that remote control. Into gear and off we go.
Beijing residents wanting to buy conventional petrol cars have to wait years, but with electric cars there's almost no restrictions.
One of the first things you notice driving an electric car is just how quiet they are and how much power, instant torque. Look at that acceleration, will you?
One of China's leading manufacturers with electric cars is BYD, short for Build Your Dreams. Backed by Warren Buffett and in production partnership with Daimler, BYD has 32% of China's electric car market. BYD sales director is Lu Yanbin.
Electric cars, cars of the future.
对，就是北京的未来，也是中国市场的未来。单纯于说我们这个店来说，是大概在80%以上全部都是纯电动，然后燃油车的市场现在是非常的小了。现在政府能够有非常大的力度呢，现在因为我们所有购买新能源这款车型，现在是有一个补贴，补贴呢是国家补贴，会有一个4万4，然后还有一个地方补贴，也就相当于北京市政府补贴是2万2，也就总共加在一起是6万6千元的一个补贴政策，所以说这个政策非常给力。
What do you see as the advantages of an all-electric vehicle?
优势非常多。首先来说环保，其次呢就是成本非常低，养车的成本，包括说最重要的还是环保，然后包括说它的动力非常激进，内饰也非常豪华，甚至于我们这个充电的时间也并不是很长，快充大概也需要2个小时。慢充大概是7.2个小时就可以了。所有的购车的这个用户，我们都是免费去安装一个充电桩，也就只要在我们的这个规定范围内。政府呢现在也是非常大的力度去推广我们的这个充电桩，也就现在所有的小区物业都是积极配合。我们的市占率大概是在31.56%，也就相当于我们是占有整个全新能源行业里边的1/3的一个市场占有率，是比较大的。
Measures the Chinese government have taken include banning the production of more than 500 models of heavy polluting cars and investing $60 billion in electric car subsidies. While autonomous vehicles are still to be officially permitted in China, with a standby driver in place, many manufacturers are into production anyway, confident laws will be relaxed. In the southern tech city of Shenzhen, the Shenzhen Bus Group is testing 4 driverless models.
Technology being worked out, but these are ready to hit the road, just waiting for approval from authorities. Look, Mum, no hands.
For startup truck maker Too Simple, their driverless trucks are being tested all over China and being sold and used in Arizona. It's seen as a lucrative new way of hauling goods, with the promise of lower costs, reduced accidents, and improved efficiency. And then there's Iconic. They're already mass-producing driverless electric passenger vans, with founder Alan Wu so confident of big sales, he's only taking pre-orders.
A pure electricity car. Yeah. It's no gas, no pollution. It's perfect.
So what do you see as the 3 big advantages of your vehicle?
The first one, we focus on passenger. The second one, we have the best design in the world. The third one, we have the best technology in the world.
Then there's high-speed train travel, not only extremely popular with Chinese travellers, but also lucrative. Most services are fully booked, with the popular Beijing to Shanghai route used by nearly 600 million people last year, netting $1 billion in profits.
With 1.4 billion people to transport, the high-speed rail network here in China is by far the biggest in the world. Right now we're flashing between Beijing and Shanghai at speeds of over 300 kilometres an hour. We'll make that trip in just over 4 hours.
The new Beijing-Shanghai trains are known as Fuxing, or rejuvenation, and are capable of speeds of up to 400 kilometres an hour, making the train the fastest in the world. Symbolism of that is that it implies the strength of Chinese train technology and science. A super fast ride on the bullet train from Beijing delivers us to a major manufacturer of high-speed trains.
Steam train to bullet train. How quickly China's train transport has moved in the last century. we're in the port city of Qingdao at a train maker that produces almost 50% of China's modern trains.
This is the headquarters of CRRC Qingdao Shifang, set up almost 120 years ago by German investors. With a workforce of 12,000 and producing more than 200 8-carriage trains every year, Company General Manager Ma Yongshang is proud they're one of China's big 4 train makers.
So the high-speed rail network in China now is the largest by far in the world, and a lot of it is covered by your trains.
是的，在中国的这个高速铁路里面，有44%来自四方。那么，中国的高速铁路的车辆总数占了全世界的60%。
So this is a massive revolution in terms of transport in China, going from the trains to this train, massive revolution.
是的，我们把这个高铁发展的这个过程，我们叫激情燃烧的岁月。那么在这个快速的发展过程中，大家都付出了很多的心血，那么也为这种取得这样的成果感到骄傲。我们产量大概每年是200组，我们的产量是200组。那么根据订单的不同，这个生产的数量会有所变化。应该说，四方的整个这个工厂的规模，在世界范围内应该是单体最大的，这个轨道交通的制造工厂。那么我刚才说的是高铁，那么除此之外，我们还有1000辆左右的地铁。应该是这样，我们这个车，我们并没有让它跑出最高的时速，但是呢，我们在2015年，我们在郑徐线上实现了420公里的2列火车的交会实验。这个车并不是速度最高的，我们前面还有一个CRR7380A， 在2010年的12月3号跑出了486.1的这个最高速度，应该是这是世界运营列车跑出来的最高速度。
Is the speed of your trains limited by the tracks? If the tracks were even better, could your trains go even faster?
我们因为这个四方的定位是为用户提供这个定制化解决方案。如果说用户有这样的需求，那么我们一定制造出这样的产品。除了现在高铁之外，我们正在研究时速600公里的高速磁浮，因为在中国这样一个广阔的地域里面，它需要多种多样的解决方案。大家对时间的追求，对交通便捷的追求是多样的，是广泛的。我认为可以这样说，这个是一方面是由中国的这个技术的快速发展决定的，另一方面呢是由中国的广泛需求决定的。因为中国纵横5000公里的这样一个地域里面，我们布置了全世界范围内最大的一张网，现在已经总里程达到了2.5万公里。那么在这张网上，我的车要在整张网上运行，那么它要满足足够广泛多的从高温到高寒从风沙到高湿等等各种各样的组合工况，而且要在几小时内完成。所以说对车的技术提出了巨大挑战，要完成要克服这些挑战，那么对技术的要求是非常高的。所以说可以说能够以高可靠性的、高安全性的方式来实现这些解决方案，那么实际上就完成了引领。
Shifang is a highly productive operation with 6 carriages completed every single workday. With a motto of integrity through excellence, Shifang trains have travelled more than 2 billion kilometres. That's 50,000 times around the Earth.
关键是创新。那么实际上我刚才讲的第一条就说是叫先进技术和先进管理方法的整合者。因为技术在飞速的变化，需求也在随着这个社会的发展不断的在发生变化。这种变化呢，来自于标准的不断的提高来自于各种复杂的需求的各种交叉组合。那么只有你在技术和创新上能够获得这个能够最快的速度和最高的质量去整合这些先进的技术和管理方法， 那么才能实现。现在高铁的这个失纵失衡的交通网已经形成，那么下一轮呢，中国规划了8纵8横的这个高铁网。那么在这个高铁网下面，还有我们的各个区域面向各个区域、各个城市群的城市叫城际铁路网。那么每一个城市都要进行这个构建自己的城市轨道交通网城市轨道交通网。那么这样就形成了一种综合的立体交通体系。但是有了这种综合交通体系以后，那么我们在中国更像是一个巨大的城市，我们就像在国内出行的时候，就像乘坐地铁一样乘坐高铁。但是这样还不能解决这根本的问题，因为大家还有更快的这种需求，更高效的这种需求方式。所以说我们才决定去研究更高速度的这种出行方式。比方说我们做时速600公里的高速磁浮，我们在这种巨型城市之间，具有巨量的交通需求的这些中心之间，那么构建一种快速通道，那么实现这个更加综合的，它和就是除了我们综合交通体系以外，那么围绕着高速我们构建一个由航空、高速磁浮和高铁这样一种3位一体的综合的高速交通体系。
China's next big transport ambitions are sky high. China is already gearing up big time with airline production. A big range of military and civilian jets and helicopters are already airborne. But the truly big investment is with China's homemade passenger plane, the C919. Beijing is investing $1 trillion to take on Western airlines, with the narrow-bodied twin-engine C919 currently undergoing test flights and due to be flying within 2 years. One Chinese company involved in both the aerospace and plane manufacturing business is Beijing Enterprises. Their vice chairman is Li Yongqing.
北京就是中国的航空市场会有巨大的一个未来，所以我们抓住这次机会，我们加入了北京航空。
We're looking in your office here at a giant model of a rocket, a space rocket. Beijing Enterprises has a hand in that?
我们这下面有一个企业，北控集团下面有一个企业，专门生产这个跟航天一些技术相关的，比如激光技术，比如测距技术等等，我们在这里能应用到。我们还同时跟他们这些企业合作，再把一些技术转化到我们在能源领域当中的应用。
Beijing Enterprises is a major player in other fields as well.
我们的主业还是以城市基础设施为主，那么涉及到的城市的能源供应，城市的自来水供应、污水处理，城市的环境卫生、垃圾焚烧发电等等这些领域。
How did you get to be so diverse and so big?
我们这个集团成立之初其实就是以这个叫让城市生活更美好为我们的基本的理念，所以我们集中在这个些领域当中，集中我们的融资能力、我们的技术能力、我们的投资能力、我们的建设能力、我们的运营能力。
What value these days would you put on Beijing Enterprises? How much are you worth?
北控集团现在我们2017年应该是业绩非常好，我们的营业收入超过1000亿，我们的利润总额达到了将近100亿人民币。我们公司的理念就是让城市生活更美好。然后我们下边我们有很多其他的企业，像我们北控水务是水、生命、爱。
Shipping is another major area of transport in China, with 20 deep-water harbours along its 14,000-kilometre-long coastline. Shipping cargo around the world has accelerated at such a rate that China is now the world's top handler of containers. But if there's been a transport revolution involving shipping, vehicles and trains, there's a movement afoot in a far older and more conventional mode of transport as well.
Back in the 1980s, 4 out of 5 Chinese rode push bikes. That number has since dropped dramatically to 1 out of 5, in line with the boom in the Chinese economy. Well, there's a resurgence led by these push bikes lining the streets in most Chinese cities.
The mass bikes are rentals, GPS enabled. Flash your smartphone to scan a code, take a ride, then leave and lock the bike wherever you choose. It's a bike share system which is proving extremely popular, a billion-dollar revolution that has already transformed the look and feel of cities around the country, with more than 100 million apps downloaded and billions of rides taken on millions of bikes. It's a concept that Chinese startup companies are now exporting to cities around the world, one that is gaining a backlash with dump bikes cluttering footpaths. Rental bikes aside, China's transport revolution is having a positive impact in other countries, as Jeff Raby explains.
What impact China's own investment in transport will have on the rest of the world, I think overall will be quite positive. For electric vehicles, the cost of these will come down most quickly in China because of the size of the market, and you can get scale economies. And similarly with the fast trains, China's now building high-speed trains in many different parts of the world. One thing China has achieved, which is quite remarkable, is the capacity to mass-produce major civil engineering works, like a train system. So everything becomes standardized, and they roll it out, and they repeat it, and then the marginal costs fall. You saw that a decade ago when they started replacing their old power stations with 600 megawatt coal-fired power stations. All over the country, they're identical and standardized, and so the cost falls quite dramatically.
In our final episode of Futuristic China, we'll feature the business behind China's modern cultural revolution, supplying and feeding China's population of 1.4 million people, including the voracious and discerning restaurant goers in Sichuan province. We'll look at China's burgeoning film industry, take a look at high fashion, China's architectural wonders, the art scene, and its big celebrations, especially around Chinese New Year. Culture and the business brains behind it, next in Futuristic China.